people like Dmytro who can tell us how to step into this space and be exposed to and become more knowledgeable on a range of tools, not just ChatGPT, but a range of tools, some of which should be used, some of which should be used in moderation, and others which should be used and can be used safely and responsibly. How do we go about it? When should we use them? When should we avoid them? How do we ensure that AI, which is a technology that we have to embrace because it's part of the new global general purpose infrastructure, how do we do this safely and responsibly? And how do we make sure that our students that graduate from the Balsillie School aren't just operating at the sharp end of technology know-how, but are also equipped with the skill sets and knowledge to go into the working world, adept at these things and knowing how to use them? Because there are huge opportunities with AI, right? Streamlining operations in organizations, achieving interoperability with global counterparts. It's a train that we have to get on. So we need to know how to use these tools properly. The other thing is general health. General health comprises of brain health, physical health, and mental health. We need to keep our brain health really strong. And we want our students to have strong capacity for critical thinking and creativity as well. And we want you all to be on the leading edge of these things because that's an important part of general health as well as intellectual capacity. And so I'm going to just tell you a bit about Dmytro. He's got multiple affiliations as well as being a Balsillie scholar currently at the school. He's an associate professor at the Department of Mathematical Modeling and Artificial Intelligence at the National Aerospace University, Kharkiv Aviation Institute in Ukraine. He has appointments as a research associate at MIT, a research affiliate at the University of Waterloo, a visiting researcher at the Max Planck Institute for Demographic Research in Germany. He a visiting associate professor at the University of Warwick in the UK, and an invited lecturer at the Wildau Technical University for Applied Sciences in Germany. He's a chair of the Education and Science Committee of the Expert Committee on Artificial Intelligence Development under the Ministry of Digital Transformation of Ukraine, and the chair of the board of the Ukrainian Scientific Educational IT Society. And in Dmytro's own way, he's excluded a very important point from his biography, which I'm going to share with you, and that is that Stanford University recently came out with the list of top AI professors in the world, and Dmytro was in the top 2%. So we're hugely lucky to have him with us at the school, with us today. He's going to really open our eyes to some of these tools and how we can use them better. And with that, Dmytro, I pass it to you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. You raise the level of expectations. Okay. So before I start, we're not going to talk about policy today. We'll talk about policies on 26th of November. Yeah, and I will give another talk about overview of different policies worldwide on AI in education, like international organizations, policies, countries, national policies, and some universities policies. With focus on Canada, and yeah, I hope that we'll have a possibility to discuss the policy of AI use here in Balsillie School of International Affairs. So, yeah, Anne already introduced me more than I expected. Basically, I have a technical background and I have PhD in artificial intelligence back in 2017. That's why I think I can talk today about some stuff about AI. So, We don't have much time today, so I thought that we should cover three main points. The first one is risks, and the main risk is hallucination. So we'll talk about what hallucination is and what is the cause and how to deal with that. The second one is prompt engineering. Just very shortly, I will show some structures, how to write prompts efficiently, and also I will show some tools, and we'll look at some concrete tools. I hope everything will work. So let's start with a question how many of you are using AI every day? And for those who present in Zoom, you can write something in the chat like plus.
We leave it off.
Okay, that's a surprise for me because I'm using actually AI every day. And another question, who is using more than one tool? More than two tools? Okay, that's good enough. So let's start with hallucination. Let's start with a simple story. So a student once asked an AI tool to help him with a lab report. They said, give me 3 recent papers about sleep and memory with proper references. The AI answered right away. It gave 3 very serious looking citations like authors, journal names, years, page numbers. Everything looked perfect. The student pasted them into the reference list. Later, when the professor tried to find those papers, none of them existed. The journals were real, the authors were real researchers, but those exact articles made up. And this is what we call a hallucination. So in the world of AI, hallucination is when the model gives you an answer that sounds confident and smooth, but it's simply wrong or invented. So it may invent a fact, it may twist a concept, it may create a quote or a reference that never happened, and it doesn't say, I'm not sure, it just goes for it. So a key idea for today is that AI is trained to sound plausible, not to be correct. And that difference matters a lot when you use it for learning and for your assignments. And one more thing I wanted to say at the beginning, we are not going to learn today how to cheat on your assignments. So it's more about when you want actually to learn and how to increase your efficiency during the learning. So why does this happen? So let's peel back the curtain a bit. Tools like ChatGPT don't think like humans. They don't know things the way you know your address or your best friend's name. I don't want also to dive deep into technical like architectures of AI. But basically what large language models do is they're trying to guess the next word. Actually, it's not a word, it's called token. So it's a sequence of letters. It can be sequence of words or sentences. So it's just a statistical machine that is trying to guess the next output. So basically, it reads a huge amount of text from the internet, books, code, everything. It learns patterns and how words and ideas tend to appear together. And when you ask a question, they guess the next token and the next word to be simpler, and the next over and over in very advanced way. They were guessing machines on steroids, if I can say. Very smart, but still guessing. So when you ask something like, give me 3 recent papers with full citations, the model has a few choices. The first choice is it could say, I don't know. It usually don't do that if you're not asking. The second one, it could search a real database if you connect the database to the LLM itself. And the third option, it can do what it's very good at, guess what a good looking reference would look like. And often LLM will choose the third option. It knows what a journal article usually looks like. It knows the common author names and in a field, and it knows how to format year, volume, page numbers, and so on. So it builds something that looks right, but may not exist in real life. So that's a hallucination, actually. And I really recommend you to look at that paper. I have a link on my slide, and I can share the slides after. It's a paper by OpenAI researchers about hallucinations. And it basically says that the goal of AI, the goal is also not the correct word because AI couldn't have goals. But still, like the goal of AI is not to provide you correct information, correct answer, but AI tries to make you happy, if I can say like that, satisfied with its answer. That's why we have that hallucination, because it tries to adjust the answer to your request, not to the correct information, actually. So let me give you a few forms of hallucinations that are common in studying. First is made up facts. It's clear, like when you ask when did the law passed, the model gives you clear answer, specific year, even a date. It sounds sure, but it might be wrong by a few years or completely off. The second one is wrong explanations of real concepts. So you ask, for example, explain this biological process or explain this math rule. And the tool gives a smooth explanation, but it leaves out key steps. It can switch causes and effects. It mixes two similar ideas into one. It feels easy to understand, but if you learn it in that way, you build your knowledge on sand. The third one, fake references and sources. I already touched that. And the fourth one, confident tone with no real support. That's also what I just told you. Sometimes the model will say things like, it is well known that something, and it can be completely wrong, like with strong tone, but with weak proof. And that's actually another red flag for AI. So you might think, okay, so something is wrong, but I'm not using it for exams, just for learning. The problem is you remember what you understand, even if it's fake. If an AI gives you wrong explanations that feel simple and easy, your brain may store that version as a truth, build new ideas on top of on that wrong base, and make you feel confident about something you don't really understand. So later in the exam, you rely on it and lose marks, and in the lab you make wrong choices. The tool doesn't pay the price for being wrong, but you do. And that's why we have to treat hallucinations seriously and build habits to handle them. So now the good news, you can train your brain to notice warning signs, and here are a few simple checks. Check one, to smooth and no source. If the answer is very polished but has no references, no mention of uncertainty, no, this may vary stuff, then treat it as a draft, not as a solid truth. The second check, strange details. It gives, if it gives very specific number, like exactly 37.54% of something, ask yourself, where does it come from? If there is no clear source, be careful. Check number three, you can confirm it. Try to check in at least one other place what you have from your AI. Like your lecture notes or slides, textbook, trusted website, and so on. If you can confirm it, that's also a sign. And let's talk about what you can actually do right now as a student. Some habits. So habit number one, always ask for sources. When you ask a question, it's something like list your sources at the end, give links, clear references I can check. Or for example, I'm using like provide me active links, so it could provide links to the source, which I can check right away. Yeah, and then also you should check that links is that and that references, because it can be hallucinations also. The second habit asks the AI to adapt itself. You can literally ask what parts of your answer might be wrong or uncertain, or at least three possible ways this could be misleading. And this does two useful things. First, it forces the model to surface gaps. And the second, it trains you to think, how could this be wrong, and so on. So it also works with your critical thinking. The third one, compare with what you already know. So ask yourself, does this fit with what my professor said? Or does this match the diagram and the lecture, and so on? And the fourth one, use narrow, clear questions. Like hallucinations often show up when the question is very broad, like tell me everything about the history of psychology in 30 years, something like that. But we'll talk about in a second. Yeah. So there is another angle we can't ignore, ethics. Even if the AI hallucinates, you are the one who submits the assignment. And if you handed fake references, wrong facts, copy text you didn't check, it's not the AI that gets called in to explain, it's you. So a simple rule, if your name is on it, you're responsible for checking it. You can use AI, in my opinion, for everything, but always check everything, because you are the one who is responsible for that. And actually, a bit step to the side, like some professors are also using checking tools for AI. Which I don't think is a good idea, because they are actually wrong and they provide misleading output, especially for people whose English is second language. So I don't recommend professors to use that, and I don't recommend you to check yourself with that AI tools. But as a professor, I'm using some tricky ones. For example, not last year, it was this year in the winter, I taught a course about AI and society. And I've done something called prompt injection. So in the task, which was a PDF, I have written a prompt, includes a citation of Abraham Lincoln. And that prompt was in white color, so you cannot read it with your eyes, but LLM can read it. So if you just take the task and upload it to LLM, it will write you quite good essay, and it will include the citation of Abraham Lincoln. And if you are not reading it after that, you will have that citation, which is not needed there at all. So that's one of the ways you can check actually.
What percentage of responses do that with the average?
Like 10%. Not a lot. So again, check everything you have from AI. Okay, to sum up this part. Yeah, not to sum up, just a message. Don't think of AI as a wise professor. Think of it as a very fast and very confident classmate. This classmate has read a lot, can write quickly, can sound very smart, but sometimes they misunderstood the question, sometimes they guessed, sometimes they bluff. Would you copy that classmate's work word for word without checking? Hopefully not. So treat AI the same. Yeah, and to sum up this part, hallucinations are confident, fluent, but wrong outputs. They happen because the model is built to guess likely text, not to guarantee truth. They can hurt your learning if you don't check them. And you can manage them with simple habits. Ask for sources, questions the answer, compare with trusted material, and use clear, narrow questions. So, and now that we've agreed AI can sound smart and still be wrong, the next question is how do we talk to it so it actually helps us with learning? And this is where prompt engineering comes in. So what is prompt really? A prompt is just what you type into the box of the LLM. But there are two kinds of prompts. The usual kind, like here on the slide, explain photosynthesis or write my conclusions. And the good one, like you're a biology tutor, explain photosynthesis to a first-year student, use simple language, one real-life example, a short quiz at the end with answers. So the same topic, very different quality of help. So the key idea, the model is not only about how smart it is, a lot depends on how clearly you ask. And prompt engineering is just a fancy name for asking better questions in a structured way. So the basic idea, treat AI like a smart but literal assistant, and imagine you hired a very fast assistant. If you say, do my homework, they will guess what to do, maybe in the wrong way. But if you say, read these chapters and make 10 flashcards with short answers on one side and answer on another side, keep each answer under 20 words, you will likely get something much closer to what you asked for. So when you write prompts, think in 4 simple moves. Say who it should be. Tutor, coach, professor, editor, time management coach. Say what you want, like explain, quiz me, plan my study, and so on. Give some context, like your level, the course, the topic, and say how you want the answer, like bullets, table, steps, quiz, short summaries, etc. And to make this easier to remember, I like to use a small checklist. So I'm reading the question in the chat. Okay, and I will come back to the question at the end. So the first checklist is called Racer. You can think of it as a small recipe for a prompt. So Racer stands for role, action, context, example, and review. Let's walk through each step. Role tells the model who it is in this conversation, like you are patient math tutor, or you're a professor in introductory psychology, and so on. Why? Because the same model can act very differently depending on the role. For example, you're a friendly teaching assistant in a first-year statistic course. The next one, action. Say exactly what you wanted to do. Avoid vague prompts like help me with this. Instead, use clear verbs. Explain, summarize, compare, quiz, plan, check, write, and so on. For example, explain the central limit theorem in simple language and then give me 3 practice questions. Now the model knows what to do. The next one is context. Give the background it needs. Like your level. I'm a second-year student, or course. This is for introduction to microeconomics. The model doesn't see your brain or your syllabus, so you have to tell it what matters. So weak context prompt will be like explain game theory. And strong one will be, I'm a first-year student in economics. We just learned about game theory in the context of simple two-player games like Prisoner's Dilemma. Explain game theory at my level and connect it to that example. The same topic, but you've now given the model much better map. The next one, example. If you want a specific style or format, give an example. You can say, here is an example of how my professor explains things. Please follow that style. or here is a sample flashcard, and so on. So examples are like showing a picture instead of only describing it. And the last one, review, asks the model to check its own work, add missing points, or tell you where it might be wrong. For example, before you finish, check if you missed any key steps and add them at the end. Or list 3 ways your explanation might be incomplete or confusing. This is especially useful because of hallucinations, and you are forcing the model to slow down and reflect. How much time do we have? Okay, let's skip that and come back to that at the end. So Racer is good for any kind of prompts. And now I want to give you one more checklist made just for learning and studies. And studying, it's called parts. Parts is a simple way to plan your study prompts so the AI actually supports your learning, not just your writing. And parts stands for purpose, activity, resource, time and format, and self-check. So the first one, purpose. First, ask yourself, what is my real learning goals for this chat? Do you want to understand the concept? Do you want to practice exam questions? Do you want to plan your study time? Do you want to get feedback on your writing? If you don't know your purpose by yourself, the model can guess it, definitely. So for example, my purpose is to understand the difference between correlation and causation for my statistics exam. That's very clear. You can then write, my goal is to understand the difference between correlation and causation so I don't confuse them on the exam. That's one sentence, can go at the start of your prompt. The second one, activity. What activity should the AI run with you? For studying, good activities includes explaining, quizzing, making flashcards, role-playing on oral exam, working through problems step by step, helping your plan revision, and so on. For example, I want you to quiz me with short questions, one at a time on a topic. And I will show you actually at the end how it works. It's very useful, and it's the tools I'm using for myself to study. So basically, you're not just saying help me, you're choosing a study activity for yourself. The next one, resources. So what material should it use? This can be your notes, lecture slides, a textbook, or I don't know, a paper, or a monograph, past exam questions, and so on. So copy and paste the key parts, or at least describe them. For example, here are my notes for today's lecture. Use only these materials to make 10 flashcards. This reduces hallucination and keeps the AI close to what your professor expects. If you don't give resources, the model will pull from its general knowledge, which may not match your course, which may exist hallucinations, and so on. If you are given to the model the material you have to study, it's better also to avoid hallucinations. The next one, time and format. You can think of it as a shape. So ask a format that fits your time and focus. I only have 15 minutes, give me a very short overview. Or keep each answer under 50 words. Use bullet points. Make a table. Explain with, I don't know, 3 steps. So for example, give me a 150 word summary and then a 5-question quiz, or explain in 3 steps. Each step is 2-3 short sentences. This keeps the answer from turning into a wall of text you won't read, possibly. And the last one, self-check. So every study prompt should help you test yourself, not just receive information. You can ask for quizzes, fill-in questions, teach back tasks, and so on. For example, after you explain, ask me 5 short questions and wait for my answers before correcting me. Turn the summary into 10 fill-in blank sentences so I can test myself. And this is where AI turns from answer machine to a study coach. And we have another question. Could you share which AI tools you use and find helpful? Also, in your opinion, does your using AI solely for English grammar checking pose any ethical concerns in academia? So about English grammar checking, I don't think that it poses any ethical concerns unless it's an English class and you have to take exam on grammar. About the tools, I will show you multiple tools in a minute. So you can think of it like Racer helps you build a strong prompt in general, and Parse help you with your goal in studying. And if you remember only one thing from this session, let it be that don't just ask what is X, ask help me learn X in this way. So let's move to some tools. I will show you some tools, and after that I will show you some tools, like how they work. Yeah, and also I think I will have enough time till the end of the year while I'm here to record some videos about each of the tools. So the first one is Elicit. So when I'm kicking off a review, Elicit feels like a smart research assistant that does the boring part fast. It finds seed papers, pulls out key details like methods, outcomes, sample sizes, and lines them up in a tidy table so I can compare evidence from an opening dozen PDFs. So the idea is simple: ask a question in plain language, get back papers with extracted claims you can vet, and then refine the query or export the table for your notes. So basically, it's a tool for reviews, including scoping reviews and any kind of reviews. The next one is Consensus. For quick evidence-backed answers, I treat Consensus like a science-only search bar. So type a claim or question, and it surfaces conclusions directly from peer-reviewed papers with citations attached. It's built to help you scan what studies say first, and then click through to the sources when you need depths, which make it handy for scoping decisions or sanity checking taking points. The next one is Research Rabbit. When I need to see the shape of a field, Research Rabbit maps it. So drop in a few papers and it builds interactive citation graphs that reveal clusters, seminar works, outer networks. And from there, I can follow threads forward and backwards in time, watch for new releases, and quickly spot gaps. The next one is Alpha Xiv Assistant. So if my question lives on Archive, and basically most of my questions lives on Archive because I'm working in computer science and it's the main resource. So that AI assistant gives me a conversational front door to that world. I can explore trending preprints, follow authors, use the agent to summarize, compare, and pull structured details, and all grounded in Archive. With discussion features that make it easier to track what's moving in fast-changing areas. And the last one is Storm. To grow a quick Wikipedia-style brief from a trusted sources, Storm is a research prototype that retrieves, asks targeted sub-questions and synthesizes an outline into a readable report. You can iteratively curate the result, adding or pruning source, so the model stays grounded while you converge a clean, teachable overview of a topic. It's developed by Stanford University and based on the latest GPT model, so it's quite good. Okay, let's move to to some to some real world while we have 15 more minutes. So the first thing actually I want you to know, maybe it's the main point of today's workshop, is that Canadian students can access Google Gemini and a lot of Google tools for free if you register by 9th of December. You just Google like Gemini students Canada and register here. You see the deadline is 9th of December and it gives you access for 1 year plus 2 terabyte of storage, like access to Google Cloud and a lot of fancy models. Some of them I will show you. Yeah. So the first one is called Learn LM. It works with Google Gemini, but actually you can select any model here, like depending on your task. For example, Nano Banana is a model for images generation and so on. I'm using Gemini 2.5 Pro. So you can create here instruction for the whole chat. For example, that prompts, like system prompts, who you are, what do you need, the formats, roles, and so on. This one is whether you need like more creative text or less creative, called temperature, and you can play with that also and look how it works. You also have a lot of different settings here, but basically you can work with that as with any large language model. Let's try. I have some prompts here, like concept explainer. Okay, something wrong. It pasted like image. Okay. Explain the AI ethics as I'm 5-year-old. And in my opinion, it works better for studying than ChatGPT, for example, because you also can play with some questions, with some styles of learning here. So you see, it also provides some references, and it's actually quite good. So imagine you have a super smart robot friend, that's a kind of what AI is like, and so on. The very good tool which I'm using like almost every day for studying, called Notebook LM. Have you heard about that? Okay. So you also have access to the Pro version with that student access. So for example, where is it? Sorry, just a second. I prepared before. So I have a book on AI ethics. It's like small book. It's 250 pages, but it's actually quite small. It's like MIT Essential Books. So I can upload it here, but also I can upload anything I want, like YouTube videos, lectures, papers, photos, whatever. You see, it provides me a summary right away, but also it can provide me a lot of very interesting stuff here. See, it's audio overview, video overview, mind map, reports, flashcards, and quiz. Let's start with quiz. It takes some time. That's why I prepared yesterday for that. So that's the quiz. It generated based, bless you, based on the book. You see, it has 15 questions for me to check myself. So, for example, according to the source material, what was a significant emotional and philosophical reaction to the AI AlphaGo defeating world champion Lysidol in the game of Go? It has some answers. Let's check. Okay, it's in Ukrainian, but I switched today to the English, so it will have English in another tab. So it says which answer is correct. It describes the answer. You can ask also to. Okay, that's why I switched to English. Just a second. Okay, we have a quiz here already. So you can ask it to explain, and it will form a prompt for you, and will explain you the concrete answer. So you see, it provides a definition. Okay, it's another question about Frankenstein complex. So definition, it provides also the source and concrete paragraphs from the source where it's written. So you can check it with source, and you can have multiple sources here. So if you're preparing for an exam, you can upload all the readings here. Yeah, so that's the one option quiz, which is quite useful. I think the second one is we have a question. I recently learned about the notebook LM and find it useful so far, but I'm still trying to understand how it works. When uploading a book or two or three, how much of the content is processed and the video and the audio is getting fully from the book. Does the system add any information beyond what is in the original book? No, I don't think so. I think it based only on your sources. Moreover, it says that it's not using your sources to train the model. That means that you can upload like books which you bought, which you actually cannot do with ChatGPT because of intellectual property. But with that tool, you can do that. So the next one is audio overview. So basically, it works like a podcast. It writes a podcast from your source, and
is really to cut through all the sci-fi hype.
it looks like.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are tackling a big one, the incredibly complex world of AI ethics.
We are. We're using the book AI Ethics from the MIT Press series as our guide.
And our goal here, our mission, is really to cut through all the sci-fi hype and get into the real, practical, and honestly, the philosophical questions that AI raises.
And there's no better starting point for that than March 2016.
AlphaGo.
AlphaGo, Google's DeepMind AI. It secured a pretty stunning 4-1 victory over.
Okay, that's clear. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, I think. Especially if you have a lot of sources. It helps a lot if you are studying not in your first language, because it can provide the same summaries and podcasts in any language and do it pretty well. I believe also that you can hear it on Zoom. Yeah. Can you write something on chat?
Emily says yes.
Okay, great. The next one is a video overview. I also prepared it before because it takes like, I don't know, several minutes for. Oh, no. Okay, it's here. I like podcasts better, but
You know, when we talk about AI, our minds immediately jump to these wild sci-fi futures, right? But what if I told you the most important, the most pressing ethical questions about artificial intelligence aren't about tomorrow? They're about today. So let's get past the hype and take a real look at the challenges we're facing right now. I mean, come on, you know this line. It's iconic. HAL 9000. This single sentence pretty much perfectly captures this deep collective fear we have. What happens if the things we build turn against us? It's a powerful, powerful idea, and it has absolutely shaped the way we think and talk about AI for decades. And that fear? Well, it fuels the story we're told over and over.
So that's also clear. It generates a starting video based on the book. It's quite good, but I like podcasts more. The next one is, okay, that mind map, let's generate here in English. The next one is flashcards. Yeah. So it's also a really useful tool for studying. So it generates you flashcards with questions. So you see from that book, it generated 54 such flashcards. You have a question here, you try to answer, you can check the answer, and you can also ask to explain that. Do that in English. And it also contain references to the book. You see to concrete chapters, to concrete paragraphs, so you can find out whether it's true or not. And it's really useful for studying, at least for me. I don't know, everybody has different styles. Yeah, and also it has mind maps. Mind maps, it's a mind map from the sources you uploaded. So you see it divided the book to 5, not chapters, to 5 parts. You can go deeper to each one. Like AI breakthroughs. There are some cases you can click and ask about each of the leaves of that tree, and also it provides answer with sources from your sources, with links to your source, which is also quite useful. And if you are using it not for studying but for work, you can also generate some reports. Like you can craft reports with your own template. You can generate a brief study guide with like quizzes, with tutorials, with suggested questions for essays and so on, blogs, like basically anything you want.